Hello friends, good evening. Today I am going to show a very small hack in your customer invoice or vendor bill for the decimal amount. Because most of the time when we register any invoice or bill with any tax, then it will end up putting some decimal in the final amount, which will create a lot of discrepancy during the payment collection or payment, sending a payment to vendor. So, what happens normally in accounting when you register any vendor bill? Let's say I am registering a vendor bill and then putting up a line which has some odd figures. So, let's say this comes to 405.60 rupees. When I confirm, it will still be 405.60. And then, if I want to settle this particular amount to round off, we do have a configuration like cash rounding. Once you enable cash rounding, then you can set precisely the roundup amount with rounding method. So here I am mentioning like rounding precision will be 0.50, and it can add up to rounding line either by modifying text amount or a rounding line. I will mention like it will add rounding line, and then these are the standard profit and loss account when we are rounding up, and rounding method is upside, not downside. So once I am done with these small settings, and then I create any vendor bill like this, and over here I need to select half up. So based on that, now you can see 4.5.60 will become 406 amount. Okay, let's say if I have anything like this, then it will round up to 401.50 up to 0.50 decimal round up. So this is how it will react based on our roundup settings. Okay, so here half up I've already added. Okay, over here now if I say the nearest, and then if I check this particular amount and change this like 40 or 30.2 or 30.33, it will again round up to nearest figure. So this is how we can set up the nearest up or down. So if I select downside of roundup level, and then if I modify this 30.32, it will reduce the amount and round up accordingly. If my amount is more like this, it will round up to 0.50 decimal also. So this is how we can set. If I change the rounding method over here, cash rounding, and then let's say I'm mentioning 0.51, and then upside, and then go to my vendor bills. So it will settle down with the roundup like this. So you can see 304.30 will round up with 304.47, which is not accurate according to our analysis because it is counting rounding precision over here. Now if I say 0.49 and then come here and then modify the amount over here, it will be showing like this. So definitely this particular decimal figure will only work, let's say if I set 0.5 plus up or downside and make the rounding. So now what happens over here? It will change this 30.45 or 40.33 to 0.50 decimal round. Now what happens in certain cases when your company or your employees are booking any bill over here. Then my bill, and then expenses, and expense amount is in very old figure like this. Okay, and then I submit this and post journal entry, so it will create a purchase bill. Now purchase bill will also be the same 103.67, and it won't be happening the cash rounding by default. So now if I want to make this cash rounding method as a default, then we can enable the developer mode, go over here on this bug icon like developer mode and set default, and then I can make this particular cash rounding method as half up and save it. So now onwards, for any of my expense or vendor bill, like if I am registering any vendor bill which is fresh, it will always have cash rounding method over here like this. So it will solve a lot of problem of your daily life to set the predefined rounding method on your vendor bill, and you can set the same default to your customer invoice also. So hope this particular trick of setting the cash rounding method and also set default values will help you to safeguard your accounting and your final amount, which can be rounding up according to the need. If you have any question, reach out to me on YouTube, LinkedIn, or email. Thank you guys. Good day.